Living outside Sri Lanka has pushed her into a professional dead end, and given the controversial reports she produced as a journalist there, there's little hope she can go back.
This is a really bizarre government.
So you wouldn't go back?
I can't. I don't think I can pass the airport.
For anyone who disagrees with official opinion, these are dangerous times.
According to CPJ's records, during President Rajapaksa's time in high office as Prime Minister and as President, 8 journalists have died of what CPJ considers to be premeditated murder. No one of these has been investigated, and no one of these trials has been investigated, no one of these cases has been investigated, and no one has been brought to trial.
This year began very badly with the killing of Lasantha Wickrematunge, the editor of the Sunday Leader, a distinguished journalist who was very independent. Another distinguished editor was detained for 3 months under the Prevention of Terrorism Act. We've had a situation where journalists have been forced to leave the country for their own safety. The situation for press freedom in Sri Lanka is deplorable, and it is even more deplorable that it has got worse since the peace was declared.
Who is Lasantha Wickrematunge? He is just another person. There are so many murders in everywhere. In the whole world there are murders. Why are you asking about Lasantha? Who is Lasantha? So anybody can kill. If that is the argument, that anybody of that can kill him.
Lasantha Wickrematunge, as you mentioned, the editor-in-chief of the independent newspaper, the Sunday Leader, was killed while he was driving to work. He was attacked by 8 men who were riding 4 motorcycles. The attack came about 200 yards from a large Sri Lanka Air Force base, and after the attack, the hooded men rode off in the direction of the base, according to witnesses at this.
The recent murder, prominent newspaper editor Lasantha Wickrematunge, was but the latest in a series of incidents. Tamils and Sinhalese suffer alike from these attacks on basic freedoms. Many Tamils have been abducted, and have simply disappeared. It is sad to say, but it is almost a certainty that these attacks have been carried out by elements of the government. Impunity seems total. No one has been prosecuted for any of these incidents. No member of the security forces has been prosecuted for any abuse.
Almost lost in the arguments over the video was a recent legal judgment that could have real and lasting repercussions on Sri Lankan media. For the first time, a court has convicted a journalist under the country's Prevention of Terrorism Act. J.S. Tisanayagam is a Tamil, convicted for 2 articles that he wrote, and, according to the court, for taking money from Tamil rebels for his website. The jail sentence was stiff, 20 years.
I believe it was a clear signal to the media. This sentencing, it was excessive, considering the charge. You see, Tissa was the first journalist to be remanded, tried and convicted under the Prevention of Terrorism Act. This act was enacted in 1979 to combat terrorism, to counter terrorists. Journalists are not terrorists.
The government argues that this was a legal judgment made by the court.
What we feel is Tisanayagam has acted against the request of ours, and publishing these articles have definitely distorted the country's image, and it's not good for the country, and we had to take this action.
They maintain that those 2 articles in particular would or could have provoked racial violence. Now the articles were printed and published in 2006. Tissa was arrested in March 2008. So for a period of 2 years, I mean, the articles obviously had absolutely no impact on any person or persons in this country. So to me, that argument is just absurd.
He was open, he was very honest, and above all, he was independent. In the end, I think it was that independence which the government and the authorities found most challenging, and that's why they decided to use the Prevention of Terrorism Act for the very first time, in fact, against a journalist.